What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Shot Tank. Can't forget your sponsors when you wear it on your head. You know what I'm saying? What's up on the moment? Good to be back. Everybody has since recovered. First and foremost, congratulations, John Jackson and the Momentum Labs team. Hashtag when merch,
That's
bro.
right, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
merch
pump
is
out
a
some
little
fire
bit,
merch.
little bit down the roadmap, but yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
for
just a
those
merch
who,
company.
Yeah, we only merch. For those who didn't hear, Moment Nerd and I are teaming up to create Momentum Labs. So we'll see what we get ourselves into, but we're launching next month, so should be good.
That's great. Congratulations, Jeb. How are you doing? The day after.
Day after?
Top Shot score, like the day after.
I don't know. I've marinated with this thing a while. I've talked to some people, both within our group as well as other people in various situations, and the more I said,
cheating on us.
Wait, yeah, hold on. I got a question. Who are other people in various situations?
Like, just I mean, like, other.
Did they sign NDAs?
Prison? Talking to people in prison?
No, talking to people in the Team Hold Discord and on Twitter. Just and by different situations, I mean just different collectors who like approached Top Shot this last year in different ways. And I said this to TST, where I was like, how do you spend 3 months, which lots of iterations to get to where they got? Like, I know they didn't just like you joke, they went 2 times like this money spent 3 times. Like, I know it wasn't that, but how do you spend so much time on it and then like it just comes out so half-baked somehow? Like, I'm just like, there was just like, because when it first came out, a lot of people were pretty excited about it. And I think a lot of us, including myself, were just relieved. I was like, you know what, this makes sense. Like, it sucks, but I'm sure there's like more to it once I like read more and all that. But just seeing the reaction on Twitter when people were asking like very valid questions and they didn't exactly have answers to it, it almost seemed like, oh, whoa, we didn't ever even consider that. And it's like, how? Like, these are like building blocks of your platform. So I am a little less optimistic about it than I used to be, but I'm also waiting for crafting, because I think if they do crafting right, it fixes all the problems that they've made up to this point.
Fixes everything, dude.
It fixes everything.
TST, what about you? Where are you at the next stage? You yell at any kids today? Like, did you take it out on them?
I'm not gonna lie. A kid told me the first class I had today, I was like, you know, like starting class, whatever, starting to talk, whatever. And one kid just looks at me and goes, "You're looking in like not great shape." I was just like, whoa.
That's always really good.
I was like, you look tired. And I just looked them straight in the eye and said, "It's May."
It's May. How old are the kids that you touch?
Excuse me?
How old are the kids that you teach?
You couldn't get me with that one. They're high school. They're
high school. I wasn't sure. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it would have been kind of funny if it was like a 6-year-old being like, "Mr. TST, you look like shit."
Also, why did you start making us call you Mr. TST?
Yeah. Well, listen, it's Web3, EDU3, anonymity is important.
But no, I felt like I had like mellowed out, whatever. I was, you know, gonna put all my thoughts together, and then I found out you can just be the top fan of every team, and that's how the NBA works now. You can be the top team of every team, like every player. Hope they're all best friends. Let's just hope for ties. Let's all tie in the standings, tie every game. They never end, and we all win.
Bill Simmons is here tonight.
I'm just saying, I don't give out any participation trophies at my school.
Bars.
Yeah, I had to say, I was thinking about it more today, and I think because yesterday I was thinking for everyone, and today I was thinking more about like because I was listening to you guys talk about like what you were doing, and I was looking at my collection more, and I was like, I guess I'm just glad I didn't fuck around like with the other stuff, like building the collector score in the way that I did. Because I was like, this actually hasn't affected me, not even greatly. It didn't like boost anything too much, but it also didn't hurt anything. I just didn't have to think about it too much, which was kind of nice. My like,
And you
again,
called the bottom on LeBron perfectly, so hats off
yeah,
to you.
yeah. I mean, until probably like this time next week where it's right back down into the pooper. But for today, we're carrying the victory flags around for it. But my thing, I'm standing by these two things. One, I think this is still super good long term. I'm still a fan of like where this is going to go long term. And then the second, on the very opposite end of the spectrum, I just don't understand. You know what I would like to know? Why did they do it now? That's like the one question I'm coming away with. I'm curious why it needed to come out now.
Well, because
especially
because they let the cat out of the bag. Like it popped up on the website, and they're like, "Oh, you got us, guys. We're working on it." So
no,
I think
okay, that's a good question. Then, do you think it wouldn't be out now if that didn't happen a couple weeks ago?
Zero chance, because even all of us we're guilty of it, and it makes sense. I think the way we reacted was the way everyone reacted, where we're like, "Well, we can't do anything now until it's announced because like who knows how this affects everything." So I do think in fairness, they weren't planning to release it now, but they're like, well, we just got to rip the Band-Aid off because like everyone's just holding their breath. We're not going to get any marketplace activity. Like people are going to be like fudding this project, even if they don't want to, because they're just like, well, we know this thing is coming. Where is it? So
yeah. John, what about you? Oh, God, TST.
I don't know if I completely agree with that. Like, and even if that's true, I still don't like. That's not even an excuse for me for putting it out right now. Like, they have right. Like, we assume that, and then there's 4 is going to be gated by TSS. So how do you put this out so close to that drop without giving us a score, or not just wait until that drop so we actually have some sort of like frame of mind of what number is actually a useful number? Because everyone saw their scores go up, so everyone's like, sweet, I got a score. But like, okay, now they're like, and then they'll be like, oh, the priority queue is 1 million, and everyone's gonna go nuts again and be like, whoa, like you didn't tell us that. But like, why couldn't they have that? Like, that drop's not that far away, so they have to have a number and
it would just provide context to like users, which would make like, to your point, make a lot of people feel better about TSS as a whole, because you'd be like, oh, here's a rare, here's about where I need to hit, here's where I am. So
right. What about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the thing that stuck out to me, and I know that this, it was kind of Alan's baby, right? It seemed like that's why he was on the Spaces last night, right? And obviously over the that's good. I think this started out a lot more complicated, and then they said they iterated and all that stuff, and it got down to money times 10 equals TSS. And so it's kind of funny to say like, oh, this is this guy's idea now. Like that's what he was doing the whole time. But obviously there were some iterations there. But the part that like stuck out to me kind of is and I know, they can only do so much in the Spaces, and it's not really gonna like, really get to all the different questions and stuff. But like, I don't know, throughout the last like 24 hours or whatever, it just seems like you guys are saying, there's still like a lot of unknowns and a lot of questions, and there's been a lot of like, oh yeah, like that's a priority, or oh yeah, like oh shit, like we need to think about that, or like, but it would seem like the right approach would have been like to have Alan continue to be the point, and if like even they say, hey, Alan's running the community Top Shot account tonight, right? And then Alan can like be the one.
Sick.
That's Alan can be the one.
This is a good thing that here's a quote to it. Yeah, like what our idea was for this, and here's a quote to for this or whatever. And I don't know. It was kind of a shit show last night, to be honest, on Twitter. And just seeing the replies and stuff, and which isn't too out of the ballpark for what we're used to, but it did seem like like, I don't know about you guys, like when I was like, I popped up with a blog. I mean, people in the Discord are like freaking putting their kids down early last night. They're like, all right, I just locked my baby in her little crib, like gave her freaking 6 toys, like I'm ready at 7 p.m. Eastern, like ready to roll. And then the blog comes out and like posted the blog, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna live tweet my reaction. I like read the blog, and I'm like, wait, I'm already at the bottom of the blog. Like that's it. That's all I got.
Dude, same thing, man. I think I said this last night, but I was like, oh, hell yeah. 2 different blog posts for this. All right, I'm going to really dig in. And I was like, oh, these are both a quarter of a blog. So we got a half a blog post. I keep going back to this where I think it's fair to like give them the benefit of the doubt that there are going, anytime you unload something like this, there's going to be a few things that pop up that you like don't anticipate, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like from the response from everyone else, and honestly from the response from them in some of those replies on Twitter, that like they were aware of some of the answers that like ahead of time that they weren't going to have. And then, so if that's the case, then I'm just kind of like, just get the answers first, right? Like why, and that again, I keep going back to this, like why release it now if you know, because people are making moves right now. People, like the live token bot was going bananas. I think a lot of people are frustrated who were stacking. And like we could get more information next week that's like, hey guys, guess what? Like blah, 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 stacks are saved or something like that. And then it's like, well, why not roll this out together? And there's like 2 possible answers. It's 1, they don't have the answer yet, or 2, they weren't, or like they don't have the answer and they knew about it, or they don't have the answer and they didn't know about it. I can't think of any other reason not to release that information. It's bizarre.
Yeah. And I think it was it Packrip who like tweeted a reply to someone and kind of insinuated that crafting would be like, hey, like don't fire sell everything. You might like regret it. And then people were like, well, why isn't this coming from Top Shot, or why wasn't this mentioned in the spaces or something like that? Like even I don't even need them to have a full plan. Just say, hey, we're not gonna rug you. Like this is
rugs.
Coming. This is coming. We're still figuring it out. So we don't want to like give you everything, but don't panic. But they didn't say that. They're just like, here it is. Like, react as you will.
But then why release times 10? If you have all, if you understand that there's so many other complicated things to solve, different little things, or like they have them later that they're gonna figure these things out, like wait and release it all together. Like anything that is affected by this that might force people to sell, but they have a plan to fix, it shouldn't be released in stages, because you're just like, someone gets pissed off and leaves the platform and liquidates, or someone gets pissed off and like, I did this wrong, whatever, I bet wrong, they told me things might change, blah, 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 which also I don't totally agree with when they explicitly say these are going to be highly collectible for years to come. I don't care if later in the blog you said things could change, you wrote in another blog later, you write in a paragraph, these are going to be collectible for a long time, this score will not change. Like, I don't care what you write anywhere else. That's just bad communication.
Technically, the moments all have 12 collector scores still, right? They just don't show collector score on the website anymore.
Not if I buy a new one.
100, I was gonna say 120, but that's not even true, right? Like,
no, but
yeah,
but
I just John.
I think they're in a tricky spot right now, because the messaging. So it's just like TST said. If this was the rollout of TSS, and to be honest with you, reading the blogs and listening to the spaces last night, there wasn't like I didn't get a feeling of like, hey, we're going to have part 2 of the blog next week that's going to talk about whatever the hell, right? There wasn't that at all, right?
No,
this was like the rollout, right? And then over the, 24 hours, people listen to everybody, whatever. Then, we've all kind of got ourselves thinking about or understanding for them or whatever. And they put out that tweet, those 3 tweets about, here's the things we need to figure out. But now that is going to like, they can't really. So when they put out the blog, right, it said, hey, our goals with this money times 10 was to basically simplify everything, to like get it away from people that are just trying to optimize towards a number, and to help the economy, right? So now if they come out with blog part 2 that says, here's all this new fucking crazy shit, it's going to be like completely different than those early goals that they talked about, and people are going to be pissed, and people are going to be more pissed that way because now, like, it's happened for the last, since it came out yesterday that there's a lot of shit going on and people are doing whatever, and it's just so wild to me. It's just so wild.
Yeah. It's confusing to me. It's weird to both be like pro something happening, but not understanding the reasoning behind the timing. I guess it just feels, like there's some decisions that happen, right? Where we're like, when kiosks, I'm guilty of when summer league, when whatever, right? And if I allow myself to step
when
back,
rake back,
when maybe not even rake back, but like the
Rake
stuff
back
that
2.0.
the stuff that includes the NBA,
Blowback.
right? You
wait,
can be
rake
like,
back real quick. Rake back 2.0. What they should do is all the money we've spent on the platform, put it in that calculator times 10, and then give it to us. Just throwing it out there.
There you go. I forget where I was going.
Sorry, my bad.
Like giving them the benefit of the doubt with the NBA, like the red tape that's involved with a lot of this stuff. I can't imagine the NBA being like, "You guys got to get the fucking Top Shot score out now." Like, do you know what I mean? And that's why I don't know.
NBA's like, "Hey, Cole Anthony's trying to figure out how to collect." Okay.
But also they were like, the last 2 months, they were like, no, you can't put it out yet. We're not sure about times 10, maybe times 9, maybe times 11. Have we thought about times 20? Have we thought about like everyone loves 1 million? So let's go times 100. We got a lot more people at 1 million.
Yeah.
They can flex that. And then they're like, okay, no, but now you have to put it out now.
Or maybe we go the other way and that the NBA, they wanted to put it out right away. And the NBA was like, another iteration. And that's how we got through 12 of them. But like, right, I'd give them the benefit. That's what I'm saying. I can't understand the reasoning for doing it. And I know like, oh, there's an upcoming pack drop. So maybe they wanted that ready to go for the upcoming pack drop. Sure. But then why not know the parameters for like what is needed for the pack drop? Like, why isn't that information? There's like missing links here. And it honestly feels like the way I treated schoolwork in high school, where it's just like, I finished the paper and was like, fuck yeah, and handed it in and walked away, instead of being like, oh, maybe I should look at this for a second. Like, it was like my first draft, and then I went outside and played baseball. Like, that's kind of the energy in which, and that's not fair to Alan and all the team that I know that worked hard on this. But I don't understand the thought process of this part. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, more importantly, they didn't even tell us how NBA NFT is going to like factor into our Top Shot score too,
Yeah. NBA NFT, ballers, flunks. Although I guess some positive news though, we're all
or whatever the fuck
the sneakers,
drivers,
the sidekicks,
the drivers with a Z.
Any word you want, just add a Z.
How much flow do you think we're gonna get in a couple of months?
How much is it going to be worth? Is more important. Everyone's getting it. Everyone that's KYC'd.
Yeah, but we've seen that. I don't know. I mean, like, we saw something similar happen with the ENS and with
But those were new, right? Those all the stuff that existed.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of tokenomics here. I don't know. Tokenomics.
I think your Top Shot score should be the amount of flow that you get.
Yes. Let's get behind that.
Times 10.
Times 10.
The big thing that I was thinking about I was rereading it this morning, and I still don't understand this whole locking aspect of this, right? Like that was, I'm very confused about the locking, and I just don't really understand the point of it, I guess, because I just don't get it. So like, let's say from what it seems like it means is, and maybe they're just going to say, hey, feel free to like lock your moments starting today for anything. But like, I don't really know why you would just lock your moments for anything, right? So you like, unless there's a reason to lock, you're not just gonna go lock them. So then it did seem like
you could lock them to be on the leaderboard, right?
Yeah,
because if you have no locked moments, you don't pop up on the leaderboard.
Okay. So Live Token's lying to us now. Just kidding. But is that
Which is
true,
also the
right?
only way to view the
Technically,
leaderboard right now. So
Yeah, well, those
Yeah. So
leaderboards
everybody is at everybody is
matter.
0 right now.
Zero. Everybody's
Correct.
at 0. So that's how that's going
Is
to work.
that-
To
okay.
me, it's like I wish they just called it staking, because that's really what it
Right.
sounds like it's supposed to be.
no, because I still want to get on them to like actually save the platform with staking. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they
Correct.
didn't use that language.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even that.
So
though,
I
like,
guess the point of locking early. I'm still talking through locking here. So the point of locking early is to hopefully you get part of the hopefully you get scooped up in an airdrop, right? Because the way that
Yeah.
they presented it, those kind of like squeezed together pictures at the bottom of the one blog, was there seemed to be some timers associated with it. And so,
yes,
in my head, hey, if there's a Lakers timer popping up, I'm just gonna go lock the Lakers stuff and then unlock it, take the key, unlock it, bring it back into my collection after. No real reason.
So I think you have to. I think you have to lock for a period of time. Like you don't get to just unlock and lock at will. Like you have to commit to like a certain amount of time you're locking it. So I think that's part of it. And I would hope, kind of the reason why, like some of the situations you brought up where you were like, oh, if they put this timer out, like basically the people buying at inflated prices will push out the people who collect it because they actually love to collect or like to collect. I don't know, but hopefully they would be like, hey, like if you have locked your moments before we announce this challenge, you actually get 1.5 score or something like that. Like you are incentivized to lock moments and be on that leaderboard before they announce the challenge.
Our chat's the best. Our chat's the best.
Our chat is incredible every time. It's the best. But yeah, so I think I would like once again half baked. Like just explain this a little more so people aren't confused because people are looking at the leaderboards now and freaking out like TST.
But that's a conceptual thing they could have
No, I'm not freaking out because of that yet. People are gonna freak out when they realize what I'm freaking out about.
That's what I'm saying though.
But that's the thing is like exactly what John said.
Like, they should have talked about it, right? They should have just said
yes,
exactly what you just did, right? They don't have to say like, hey, starting on this date, you're gonna be able to get double your blah 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 whatever. They literally just could say like, hey, here's how locking is gonna work. You're going to be able to lock your moments. Sometimes you're going to get airdrops. Sometimes there's going to be challenges. If you lock them early, it's going to be better. If whatever, I don't know. Just say what it is instead of just being like, yeah, there's this lock.
It should not. It is not. Is not any of our jobs to explain what locking is or what we think it is. Because I'm doing this just based off of like what I read, the pictures, and like using like logic. But
so to be fair, I think they did kind of do what Jeb did during the spaces, but that explanation of it was not in the blog. Like Alan did kind of say
the reason why the reason I feel like I have a decent idea is because of Steve's video. So shout out Steve first of all. But that one, when he explained locking in that sense, I was like, oh, okay, I get how it's like supposed to work, I think. But yeah, I didn't even notice it get really talked about in the spaces. So maybe I missed that, or maybe I jumped off early.
Alan explicitly said in the spaces that time would not be a factor because they want someone to be able to come on the platform and feel like they can move up the leaderboards. He said like kind of the opposite of what you would like assume like you'd benefit from being on the platform right now. And the one part they didn't like talk about that would maybe solve some of this is what Jeb's talking about in that like, okay, when you lock it though, like you have to lock it for 6 months. Are you prepared to do that? You're going to make that timer, right? Like the timer's in 1 day, but when you hit that lock button, it's locked for 6 months.
Yeah.
So that would like deter some people. And that's like kind of like maybe where their like defense will be like with the whole leaderboard where you can be on all the leaderboards. But like, you think these OG and these whales who have held through all of this aren't going to be willing to also like lock a bunch of stuff up that gets them more stuff? Like, obviously they're going to do that. Like, that's not going to deter the people with these massive accounts that have held through way worse. Like they've held up to this point. They clearly have a long-term vision. There is no problem with them just clicking lock on all these things that get them more stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that the lock. I think they need to separate the holding and the locking. Like, damn it, this just sounds stupid. That we're even talking about it, but all right, I think we can just move on. But okay, if you have a moment in your account that you're holding, you should be able to get, like, if you're holding the Rising Star set or whatever, you're holding whatever set, you should be able to get airdropped, whatever for being a holder. But like, you also shouldn't have to be like, oh shit, I forgot to lock a couple of those or whatever, and then you don't get it. Like the locking should have a separate like passive reward, some sort of thing to it. I think
you want passive locking, but active rewards for locking.
I think this is the type of stuff you're going to get from Momentum Labs. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the deep dive.
EV, John.
Yeah,
when popping and locking. It's a great question. It was a great question, right? Jeb, I know you tweeted something out today, throwing getting some stuff from the communities. And while
let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, while Jeb pulls that up, if you guys haven't liked the stream and subscribed to Mr. ActuallyJebBush, go ahead and do that. And we do this as a rotating show. If you're new, every Thursday at 9:30 Eastern, and we rotate between TST, ActuallyJebBush, and Team Hold's channel. So keep hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I just asked we knew we were going to talk about Top Shot score and locking and popping and dropping and all that. So I asked, obviously, the people what they thought about Top Shot score, if they had any ideas. And we didn't get a lot of replies, which is kind of nice, actually, because I think we can go through all of them. We still have some stuff on the last post I made that we're hopefully going to go through next week. But we decided this was probably more relevant for this week. So first off, we had Nest Analytics who said an all-new base set moment should come with trade ticket artwork. I love this idea.
Wait, so I think there's an angle we could go with this discussion, though, and just talk through, okay, I'm not going to say as soon as this week, but, like, in the near future, there's probably going to be some 100% trade ticket pack drops.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I posed this question last night. Like, when we get to that, like, are you buying $9 packs next time they come about?
They're going to be lottery packs.
Probably not.
Yeah, why not? Wait, but why wouldn't you?
Oh,
if you need trade tickets, they're $3 a piece anyway, and you can pull something cool.
And they're going to be lottery packs. So
yeah,
that's true.
Maybe get
Wait, so sorry, I said that the wrong way. I totally said that the wrong way. What I meant is, there's going to be a set that comes out, like, bless up to the Hustle and Show brothers, but there's going to be a set like Hustle and Show comes out, and you're going to collect all the moments. Once the challenges are over, whatever, everything from that set's going to be worth the trade ticket.
Except for the challenge reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, mint juice.
Sorry. Yeah, no disrespect to Hustle Show, but hey, it's there.
The international set, the new international set that's coming.
Okay,
all trade tickets.
Yeah, let's piss off
because
all
they just
people that are sleeping.
They just want to give them one more shiv to the international people. They're like, you thought we were going to give you a pack drop? You thought we were going to give you a set? Nah, all of them are trade tickets.
Negative EV for you.
My point, my larger point of it's not highlighting one certain set, but if right now you're incentivized to kind of collect the player that's the best, right? And so if let's say the Clay game recognized game is a good example, right? None of those players are absolute studs, right? And so for the most part, those guys are all kind of had a good career or whatever, or kind of role players, something like that, and they're kind of towards the end of their career, or whatever, but none of those players are really move the needle. So there's a world where all of those are worth $2 and they just kind of get cycled into trade tickets. And that's, I think, sorry. Hustle Show says 18,000 mint count. You know, it's inevitable. But But
It's inevitable.
that's my worry. That's my worry if they don't figure out the supply stuff.
Yeah, I would hope there's a world where you can craft with like moments and get I don't know. I don't even want to go down that road to be honest. Like, but no, you're right. You're right. Like what we talked about this with the extra spice set. Like what makes that set special, right? Like, yeah, it's lower mint count, but like why would anyone want to hold that set? And I think we're seeing that a lot of people didn't want to hold that set, right? Even though it is like a lower mint count and is like a rare common. So is that set like supposed to be like trade tickets even now? And like you said, the game recognized game, I guess you could argue like, oh, like all of them are narrated, so maybe that makes it a little more special where you don't want to make it a trade ticket. But yeah, I mean, there are the gift, those should all be trade tickets. I've been saying that for a long time. But
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the like larger point I think is this announcement. In my opinion, so like CS, it had different layers of demand, right? There was just demand because of the way that CS worked, right? Because it rewarded a bunch of different things, and people care about a bunch of different things. So there's demand for different things. But now that there's only one system, and it kind of like remove some of those like kind of demand layers that help, kind of add to the platform. And because the rollout was so clunky of, we're also going to do some shit for team sets, and like we'll figure out some other shit out over here, don't worry about it yet, and like whatever, that's not helping with the void of demand right now. And so there's a decent amount of speculation of what could happen with stuff, but it's not true demand. And I think that's only gonna last for so long. And so that's where I think I'm most worried, is because they're already not very great at figuring out their demand and building their supply for it. And now we just kind of took away a lot of the demand. And I really think they're going to need to reshape the way they do supply moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I don't think there's too much more to say. We're
fucked.
Crafting challenge through S2 team stacks, craft X S2 team moments, and receive a rare teamwork moment of that set. Mint up to 1,000 of each team, allows an off ramp for S2 stacks, and elevates S2 floor to $3. Feels like a no brainer to me. I think we all had speculated even before, like all this crazy change, is that the teamwork set would require crafting of some sort. So I think it just makes even more sense now.
I thought this was a great idea until I was like, how many of these can be completed? Do you know what I mean? Like, does that, if it's still like, if this is supposed to be considered a rare moment, if like 14,000 could be completed through crafting, then it's a trade ticket, right? It's just like a super trade ticket, just like John declared hustle and show.
Yeah, but it'd be the first team moments, right? So it wouldn't be like a player. It would be
first trade ticket.
Yeah. No, I know it'd be different, but like, do you see what I'm saying though? Like,
yeah,
if it,
but make it a fandom moment. I don't know.
Well, don't do that. Let's not do that. Please, no more of those. Wait, what are you saying?
This is kind of what we thought the rare. Didn't we kind of think this was? Oh wait, yeah. I mean,
yeah. This is what we talked about
for the rare teamwork, right? But then they freaking punted rare teamwork, right? So that's in series 4 now. Yeah, but
this
maybe this is a philosophical debate we can have. But if they push a set to series 4, are they allowed to include moments from this season, or does that have to be 2023?
Well, it just becomes
they could do whatever they want, because they make flash challenges where you just need series 1. So
he's not talking about the moments, he's talking about the reward.
Well, I'm just saying they said that the rare teamwork set's going to be in series 4. So
yeah,
like, are they going to include plays that happened during series 3 in a series 4 set, or is series 4, which we still haven't figured out since last week, but we think series 4 continues until the end of 2023 season. Does that mean series 4 rare teamwork is going to be 2023 plays?
All right, John, you want me to blow your mind now?
Yeah.
What if it's actually Austin and Brandon that were reviewing the film and they're like, half these teams didn't even have good enough teamwork plays. We got to punt this. And it had
I love that.
nothing to do
I don't
with
hate
anything except for the quality of the play.
I was
That
thinking
would
the
be
same
sick.
thing about some of that. I would love that. I wish, if that's true, I wish they would have come out and said that though, because I think we all would have been like, hell yeah, that's great.
Dude, basketball's dead, dude. NBA is dead. It's gonna be all Bob Cousy moments, bro. That's the only way. Listen, I love this take. This is some real old white guy take. If it was just like, I liked it when they smoked at halftime and threw chest passes.
While that would have been a funny announcement, that would have immediately gone right into what Mike just said. And people are like, how's Top Shot supposed to survive? But we can't even find enough good moments to
Win moments.
Yeah, we go from having oversupply to undersupply because basketball's just so dead. We're
gonna shit out like 6 Bruce Browns, but this teamwork set, not enough good plays.
Too much ISO ball these days.
Yeah, you know who moves the ball around nice? Keith Henderson from LaSalle College. I want D3 moments.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, okay.
Celtics up 29.
Yeah, this game is over. This is like,
Blow
it's
up.
not even worth watching.
It is if you 20.
Our boy Luke Cornett's gonna hit the last 3 of the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
right. This is the last. Ooh, JBB currently in first place in the 20 max right now. Let's ship this thing, huh?
Not a big deal at all. What? Let's go.
I'm splitting it with like 155 people.
Yeah, there's a big train there. I'm in second, so it's 63rd, but I'm in second.
There you go, dude.
Hell yeah. All right. Limit leaderboards to your favorite team. I think we all agree on this one. I don't think there's much to talk about. I think
someone disagree with me right now.
I disagree.
You disagree because you want to be on 2 of them and benefit.
Listen, I'm not again, dude, this is like the same case for what we just talked about. You are an old school. You probably still yell expletives at well, you don't because you're Canadian. This is a bad example, but
sorry.
I get what you're saying. But I don't know if someone has a shit ton of Lakers moments and a shit ton of Thunder moments, you put them on 2 leaderboards.
Yeah, but the whole point is
I'm okay with it, but I'm not okay with the being like, we are the future of fandom. We want the teams to see who their greatest fans are. We want this and that. And they're trying to act like they're this product that shows your fandom, but you can be a fan of 10 different teams and you can be the best fan of 10 different teams.
Yeah.
And if you want to just say, look, we have the game where if you're the best collector of all these different things, then that's how you earn stuff. That's fine. And call it what it is, but don't come at me and saying the teams want to know who their top collectors are. And then turns out when they looked at the leaderboards, it's just the 5 guys that got in 2020 that are all the best fans of their team.
All right, but listen, Boomer, I think the future of fandom isn't teams. It's players. Jeb's the best example. He's
which we can do it with players. We can do it with players. And I'm not arguing that you can only have one favorite player. I'm arguing that you can only have one favorite team, because if you're an actual true fan of a team, more than if you're a top fan of a team, you're not a top fan of another team. It's counterintuitive.
Well, you know what?
Well, can I have a West Coast team and an East Coast team, TST?
No, not according to TST.
No, you can't. You can have an NBA team and you can have a WNBA team.
You also can't other sports. You have to pick one team, and that's the only thing you can follow.
Yeah, man.
If you pick an NBA team, you
Fuck
can't
hockey.
pick an NFL
Fuck hockey.
Dude, I'm flipping this TST and I'm sending it to Trudeau.
I'm sending it to the official Canadian government and getting you deep.
It might be worth explaining to everybody who maybe just we assume knows what we're talking about. But essentially, right now on Live Token, they show the whatever your favorite team is on Top Shot. They show that as what you're tied to in the team leaderboards, right? And since yesterday, Live Tokens upgraded their leaderboards to account for TSS. I think they've also accounted for the team checklist stuff already. So that's baked in now to Live Token. But what TST is
Somebody
referring
signed
to,
an NDA.
What TST is referring to, and what Nick Stauskas here is referring to in the comments is basically, it's not tied to favorite team, right? And Alan or Jacob or somebody on Twitter last night said that it's going to be possible to do multiple teams, and so that's where this kind of comes up. Is now, technically the way that I understand it, and I haven't checked in the last few hours, but the Live Token leaderboards aren't actually accurate, right? If they're going to allow for people to do multiple teams, right now the Live Token leaderboards only account for a person's favorite team. So if you were really pissed about how you jumped down the leaderboard last night, there's probably another wave coming. So
yeah. So the one thing is the locking thing, but I think what I didn't realize until one of you guys pointed out is how you were like, well, someone like Alxo is going to have zero problem locking every single moment he owns. Like, he's not about to be like, oh, I might want to sell this. Like, he's going to lock everything. So he will be on top of every single team leaderboard. And I'm a huge Alxo fan. I think the hate that he gets is ridiculous, but like, I think Top Shot's almost like setting this up to be like a one, like us versus the 1% type of deal. Like, if you see Alxo on every single leaderboard, like, you're going to feel some type of way if you're like a diehard fan of like one specific team. So like, I get what TST is saying in the sense that, like, yeah, if you're someone who loaded up early on and you're on every single leaderboard, like, Veerman's not selling anything, MBL's not selling anything. They'll lock all their moments and pop up on all these leaderboards, no problem. Like, they don't have a problem. They're not trying to constantly like, oh, should I sell everything? Should I not? So yeah, it does seem like that wasn't thought of, or maybe it was, and they're just like, yeah, like, we really are like, everything should go to these guys who got in first.
If the 1% donated half of their moments to the 99%, we'd have an opportunity to have everybody on the leaderboard.
Oh, I didn't know Bernie Sanders was joining the Shark Tank today.
Oh, man.
How do we get a Ben & Jerry's ice cream? Put some maple syrup on it. Oh, now it's just an old person. It's no longer Bernie Sanders. That's honestly 98% of all of my impressions last for a half a sentence. And then, like we saw it last week with Steve, I think. I tried to do an Australian accent and punted immediately.
Oh, that's great.
Sorry.
Okay, the last one. And this one, I actually, shout out to Jumpshoot. He put this in the team hold Discord and people were discussing it. And I agree with this completely. S1 collectors are in the profit big time. S3 collectors are
and the top of all the leaderboards.
And the top of all the leaderboards. That's part of the profit. S2 collectors who played the CS game for an entire year to rise up team leaderboards, thinking, and to qualify for packs and all this other stuff that CS was built for, believing they'd get rewarded, got completely like rugged, hardcore. And he points out, and I also agree with this, I'd argue that this group was their most loyal collectors as well during the last 11 months, which is true because like people like me who joined Top Shot at the peak, thank God I did not really put anything in, like lose my life savings. But like, if you've stuck around at this point after joining then, which was most people, like you are like in it for the long haul. Like, so those are the people that do need to be rewarded to some degree. We're like, hey, like we understand, like you spent $2,000 on this LeBron no look 3 and now it's worth $50. Like,
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is. Like, I think there's Andrew Mackins in our Discord was talking about this a little bit last night. So shout out Mackins, but he was kind of like there was an inefficiency, and in something like this, someone does get left holding, like someone's gonna get fucked here. I just thought it I thought it was going to be a lubed up one. I thought there was going to be protection. I thought it was going to be a soft landing. And we said this yesterday. I really did. I thought there was going to be more of or John, you said it, like an off ramp, and whether that is in a form of trade tickets or we see it in crafting. And I'm still holding out hope that they have. You know what? I actually don't have hope that they had already thought of it, because I think if they had already thought of it, they would have done it. But clearly, based on the Twitter response, it seems like they're not willing to stick to their guns on the call that they made. So I do think we see something that softens the blow a little bit.
So what you're saying, Mike, is originally you thought they were going to take you out for dinner before they fuck you, but now you're just hoping for breakfast.
Make love. I would take breakfast over dinner 10 out of 10. Let's get down to
100%.
business. Then let me go to sleep.
I'm walking shaming all the way home by myself.
And PPE, I know you just got here. We're talking about sex, which I know is something so foreign to you, but I'll send you a couple of videos.
The only point I'd bring up, about the rugging, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, is, Janie specifically said like 2 weeks ago, like, what was it? Her quote was like, "We're not gonna rug, like that's not our style," or something. And so that quote, is like
that
a little bit.
That aged like milk.
That just doesn't like really align, I don't think, with what was announced yesterday, because if they think they didn't, so again, this to TST's point, maybe their whole like thing was, hey, we didn't rug them because we gave them this early adopter TSS, which is like 1 billion points on top of another 1 billion points, and so it's like 1 billion points. But
inflation,
man, shit, and now everybody's
hitting
pissed.
everything.
So if that was their like, yeah, we got you guys, that is a shit like that's a shit like plan, and that's like what were all these people with the NDAs doing? Like, what was everybody doing for the last 3 months when we were talking through this stuff? Like, we gotta have some more insight onto here.
Well, did you guys see? I forget who it was. Somebody tweeted out today being like, "We need to know who signed an NDA," which I thought was so funny, because it was like, that's not how NDAs work, man.
It's actually the opposite of how they work.
The explanation to that was pretty funny too, because they took it like very literal. They're like, "We got to answer this question." They're like, "All right, so they signed them. We haven't released it as a team. If they want to come out and say who they are, they're okay to. But us, we're not gonna just tell them who they are, because that's kind of part of the agreement."
Yeah, that's
TST. Like, you explained that like if Jacob was asked that question on the live stream.
That I was repeating what was said.
Yeah, I bet you Jacob was the one who answered it. Yeah, I think the other thing that's important to realize, I think, is like we saw so many people leave Top Shot who were early and profited massively. Like, I think the core, like hardcore, or what I think John refers to as a power user of Top Shot, are people who came in S2. Like, yeah. And that's all of us. I mean, Mike got in a little bit early, but he still came in S2. Yeah. Like, yeah. Like, we're all the people.
Put in enough money early.
Yeah, he clearly did.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. What are we saying right now?
I don't know.
What? I think John was making a joke.
You just got shit on for being an OG, but also
poor?
didn't put in enough money.
Yeah, for not pouring your life savings in the day you discovered it.
Wait, Mike, when did you go in? When did you get into Top Shot?
98. Sorry, guys. The heat of this is what sucks about being a Celtics fan.
20 points.
I know, but we are awesome at blowing leads. It was 32. No, I got in like the same day you probably did, John. It was right after the Bales article.
End of January. Yeah, Bales article. All right, Mike.
January 16th.
That's okay. I was making a joke, because if you and I had both dumped like a considerable amount of money in that weekend before the ESPN article 2 weekends later, we would have done a lot better. But I personally didn't. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, but you also would have had to sell.
Yeah, I would never sell, because I'm
course
like, we're gonna make $1 million.
No, I held by the first thing I did when I got on the Top Shot. You guys are like this shit. this is where the spreadsheet started. At the time there was only
I would imagine they start at the beginning.
Yeah, there was only 7,500 S2s and then the 15,000 S2s. And so I created like a ratio chart, like figuring out like what fucking 15,000s were undervalued or whatever. You know, now they're all worth $3, but back then they were the bee's knees. And so then I said, hey, you know what? I found some of these good players moments that are what I would say undervalued relative to the market. I'm gonna be a serial bro, and I bought 3-digit serials for these guys because whatever freaking valuation website showed that those were like more. So I was like, I had a KD, I had a Steph, I had like all these 3-digit serials that at the time the valuation websites were showing were like over $1,000. And I'm just like riding the wave. I'm like, let's go, baby. And like I put in like, I don't know, I still put in like, I don't know, maybe like $1,000 or something, and I like bought all this shit. And like thinking back what I could have bought with $1,000 at that time into like what's valuable now, like holy shit, I could have really done something well, but I was just an idiot.
Yeah. I did this. I mean, I think I've already told a story, but I was flipping those LeBron 7,500s for like $100, being like, "Can you fucking believe this?" And then like 2 days later, it was like $1,500, and I was like, "Hell yeah, dude, sick."
I went on the platform and I was like, okay, I gotta get in these backdrops. I'm worried that my credit card, I have to already have it loaded. So I bought like a $2 like Fred VanVleet or OG Anunoby, and then I bought it, and then I looked at the recent sales, and I saw that was the highest purchase at $2, and someone before me had bought it for $1, and I'm like, I just got screwed. F this shit. Like I was so pissed, and then like a week later, everything was worth so much. I was like, wow, I probably should have bought some other stuff, but that just really shows how my risk tolerance is compared to you guys. I spent $2 and thought I got screwed.
I came in and only bought packs and made bank selling, like, because I hit on the Scene Stars, I hit on the Rising Stars, and I was profiting hardcore. And then I took all my profits and I was like, LeBron no look 3, baby. Let's pay a lot of money for this.
Man.
So I didn't get crushed because I was very careful and like conservative with my investment, but all those early profits that actually did sell at the right time, it turns out, got flushed down the toilet because I also bought at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I sold at the top, but I bought at the top too.
I remember there was a day where I think my account at the time, and I had probably I had just won some money on DraftKings, and so I think I probably put like $3,000 or $4,000 in it. It was like right after I won 50K, and I watched that.
So how many times that happened to you? Just like, oh yeah, it was one of those times I won 50K or 20K.
No, 50 was definitely that's the highest. That's the highest I ever had.
Well, every number I said after that was lower.
Yeah, we've had some good hits. We get one good hit a year.
Mike's a player, baby. Mike's a player.
Mike's a player, baby. It was right after Kelsey. Of DraftKings.
No, the DFS.
But I remember there was one day I put like 3K in, and I was just I was refreshing that. I think it was either right when Evaluate.market came out. It must have been Evaluate.market.
It was
just refreshing it.
Never heard of that.
It was going up $1,000.
You mean Own the Moment?
Yeah, I don't even think that exists anymore. But you would refresh it every like 3 minutes, and it was like going up $1,000. And my account was up to like 90,000. And I'm like, I like called out of work one day. I was like, I'm never doing anything again. I figured out the game. And then it only went down from there.
I'm so glad I didn't invest so much because I would have definitely said my catchphrase.
Fuck them kids.
I was like just pumped that mine was at like 4,000, 5,000, whatever. If it had been at those numbers, I would for sure walked into it.
I remember I was trying to convince. Yeah. I was trying to convince my buddies for like a week, like a solid week. Like, all right, come on, get in. And then like every day was like a week in Top Shot. Like it was like crazy. And then finally, like a bunch of them got in. And then like it was kind of like a lull day, and I was like, oh shit. And then they announced like all these guys who were like, that's when they announced the freaking verified accounts, right? And like all the guys who are
Mm.
verified accounts. So then at the time, like all those guys shot up. So I'm like, but 6 of my buddies joined, and I had like, I had a bunch of JaVale McGee's, and his moment was like his like freaking whatever moment was now worth like $18 or $20, and I'm like just throwing them out. JaVale McGee's, I'm like, here, dude, get you in fresh JaVale McGee for $20, baby. Now that thing's worth freaking $2.
Yeah, shout out Josh Hart.
Shout out CJ McCollum.
Oh, CJ. CJ was definitely the worst one I had.
Yeah, that was rough.
That one, that never went up. I
Remember
probably no, I'm not the highest buyer, but I was
It's-
close.
It's so crazy that we used to care about that stuff. Like when someone joined, like people lost it. And then remember when Kevin Durant joined, and everyone's like, cool. Like, and it's Kevin Durant.
No, that's not how it went. That's not how it
Hart.
went down. No, because what was cool about that one was that people did freak out because Kevin Durant bought certain things, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
and then
yeah, I forgot
months later, it's like a video with Jacob and it's him buying all those things, which like is funny because at the time we were all pumped. And then later, like it was cool seeing that because like you remember back to what we were reacting, but then you're also like, he was only buying that stuff because of
It's a paid advertisement.
Yeah, maybe I'm
which
thinking-
also like
maybe-
we kind of knew, but like we were kind of like, oh, maybe he's like exploring on himself and just being like, oh, I want that, I want that. And it's like, no, Jacob right beside him, be like, yeah, you should buy that. It's how this works. Buy that.
swipe the
Just to
company
get the people
credit card,
going?
Maybe it was the clay. Maybe it's the clay I'm thinking of, where people were just like, it was cool. Like, cool, clay's on there, and it kind of blew my mind because I was just like, geez, like people were freaking out about like just the sorriest players ever being on the platform.
Yeah. Josh Hart again.
Yeah.
Hey, Bogdanovich was like in a blog somewhere saying that he was going to be.
Oh, Mike has a story about that too.
I mean, because LG, I remember I like was one of the first men podcasts I ever listened to, and he had mentioned that, and one of like my first big buys was I'm not even big, it was like 150, I think, but it was Bogdanovich at MGLE. And I was like, once he's on Europe Magazine or whatever it's gonna be, I'm like this
The
thing.
European tour in the off season. That was the talk, right? It was the off season when he went on this tour in Europe.
He's too focused on basketball right now, but dude, once the Kings get eliminated, Bogey's gonna be wearing Top Shot shirts.
Mike, you don't have to worry now. The game's definitely over. They put in Duncan Robinson, so they've given up.
Ballers!
Wait, should we talk a little bit about the playback?
And this is true. This is true.
on-
Top Shot. I think he was the best voiceover.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, that was nice. All right. We can talk. Are you just gonna say, can we talk playoffs?
Yeah, or
Is that what you
playoff.
said,
I was
John?
thinking about the playoff pack on Saturday.
Oh yeah, let's talk packs. I'm gonna look at the TV, but you
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
Bring-
that's fine,
bring us
that's
into
fine.
it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're good. No, I'm saying so. I'd be interested to hear you guys' thoughts on because the round one playoff pack could all kind of agree was a little bit of a turd, right? So on on Saturday, spin zone on the Saturday too, right? Anybody? Have we heard why they're doing Saturday? It seems kind of weird.
I think they said-
International.
I like it though. It's good
It's-
for the
It's to
platform.
give the international people a break because they're not getting their international set for the pack drop at 4 a.m. for us.
Is it a weird time or?
Well, it's just not
It's
during the
Saturday.
like.
Which is I think
it's better for them, and then it's also like if it's on a Saturday, it's not like 4 a.m. and you have to go to work the next day for most people.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then on
it's
top
4 in the
of
morning
that,
on a weekend.
Yeah, it just ruins their weekend. It doesn't ruin their work.
Now
day.
you're just like hung over, waking up at 4 a.m. and be like, "Fuck."
Or you just stay up and keep drinking.
Ooh,
there you
big
go.
brain,
There we
big
go.
brain.
But do we think that TSS
it's also
is
not
gonna,
during the
like,
work day.
have an impact? Yeah. No, it's a good shit. Whatever. Saturday.
On
But
this
do we think
Saturday?
that there's going to be a like an impact of like is TSS going to do anything to make these packs a little bit different? Because
You know,
there's better
I would
players. This
think
pack is better across the board
It is.
From
the
a player
rewards.
standpoint.
from a
You
player.
know, it'd be
standpoint,
really
yeah.
funny. I guess not funny, but it just would be like, all right, packed. Here are the packs for their $19 packs. the Q is 295,000 TSS score. Like if it's some astronomical number that's like that's the introduction to TSS for like a $19 pack, you need almost 300,000.
I think it'd be even. I think it'd be fun if they put it at like whatever the last priority queue was for legendary, just because like everyone has that score now. So they're like, some people were like, you know, I was working forever to get this. One day I was going to get to 25,000, whatever, and then they're just like, all right, now a common drop is 25,000, and everyone's like, yes, I made it.
Yeah,
We can keep this TSS. I love it. Train rolling.
My dad's TSS is like a little above 10K, and he like primarily buys packs. He doesn't participate in the marketplace a ton. Like half the time it's me saying, hey dad, there's a challenge and you have like most of the moments, I'll send you the ones you don't have or whatever. So like he's, I would say, a good example of a very casual user. So as I was actually shocked at how high his score was. I kind of thought it was going to be like 5,000 or 4 or 3. So I was like, okay, so 10,000 is like
Early
a casual
adopter,
user.
early adopter.
Yeah, true. It's that boost. Oh, I didn't have him check his boost, so maybe that's why.
He might even have a higher score.
Yeah, that's true.
He might qualify for this common drop on Saturday.
But I would think, I would honestly hope, like the whole point of them making this is to make it more accessible to new users. So it would be hilarious, but it would be a really bad move if they were like, yeah, we're gonna gate this baby. Like we're throwing a gate on it.
They should just call it prior. Oh, go ahead.
For all the Palindrome bros, it's 96.69.
What?
The game right now.
Not anymore.
Hey, I'm in the future, bro. It's 96.71.
Ah, damn. Canada, man. Go behind.
A little colder.
You're just lucky I'm not watching hockey.
Okay, my question wasn't about like the TSS gating though. My question was about like, okay, do people that pull a Steph Curry playoff moment, are they going to be like, oh hell yeah, I got some Steph Curry points, or are they going to be like, fuck it, $4?
I would say the latter. Until people know what right now, no one knows what it does. So I think it might be a mistake to do that, but there's not going to be anyone that's like, oh my gosh, like Steph Curry points. Like until it's like visible and people can see exactly how it affects everything, no one's thinking about that. So I mean, theoretically, we can take a risk there and, you know, speculate some more and be like, oh look, like we can start stacking cheap Giannis and Steph Curry moments because people are going to wake up to this once like all this stuff is like live and implemented. That's possible. But I mean, we could also just, we speculate. I think all of us did a little spec buying before the announcement. And I believe I ended up in the net negative from that spec buying.
Everything I speculative bought equaled times 10 TSS though. So
true.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
So my TSS increased because of my speculative buying.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I know this takes us off topic a little bit from your question, John. So I'm sorry. Why were people buying
it's
today?
over.
Why were people buying? Yeah.
Well, should we talk a little conspiracy on the VIP program?
Yeah. Conspiracy though. What? What's the conspiracy?
So, again, we'll lay this out for the listeners. The VIP, if you're a VIP, which I forget, there's like, you know, the criteria somewhere on the website about how you get
Don't you
VIP,
spend
but
$75K?
None of us are VIPs, right?
None of us, definitely not.
No.
I will say real quick,
I feel like I should be a VIP.
Another thing that was interesting, in something that the common user isn't going to care about, but they had like a collector score. It was like spend or collector score, and they switched it to just spend. And there are people, I know Spine Charmer was one of them who like stacked collector score to get VIP and then got rugged because he didn't get any VIP benefits. And they're just like, yeah, net spend only now. And now they're potentially double rugging him because they're saying now your collector score is useless too. He was number 1 on the Laker leaderboard, and he's now 106, I think. So
I saw that. I did see
shout out
that
Spine
too.
Charmer. He's going through it.
Wolfpack. Wait, hold on. So John, what's this conspiracy?
All right, so back to the rollout, right? They offered.
I can't take you
put in
seriously
new
with
money.
your hat like that.
John,
what's that?
What?
Hey, John,
What's that conspiracy?
So if you put in new money, they're gonna pay you out in non-withdrawable Dapper balance up to half of it, up to $5,000, right? So you get 50% payout, right? So if people drop 10K today, and they bought moments, they also had to buy moments with the new money. Then and they also have to lock those. They can't. They're gonna audit their accounts if they can't gift if they don't have those moments. Whatever the prize that they get, unlocks over 5 months, right? So you get vested every month, and by the time you get to the 5th month, you're 100% vested and you get your reward. So, anyways, that's the background of the VIP reward, whatever the hell that was issued today. The conspiracy is, TSS announced yesterday incentive program today to all the VIPs. Live token bot starts going off. People correlate that to TSS win for Dapper, even though it was not really correlated.
Wow. No, I think, I would agree with that. That makes a lot of sense.
It's the best thing they did about the TSS release.
No, all of us were talking. We were like, what is going on? Who in the world is buying now? Like, why is because we saw the LeBron moment go from what was the floor? 3,200 to 5,800, like that.
Yeah.
And the Ja moment ran up, the Luka ran up, and we were all like, who's excited about this? So much to go drop thousands of dollars.
Well, yeah, because I do think the people who would be excited about the people who it's a great comment.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Long term, I am excited about it. The people who are excited about it in the short term, though, already have all these moments. So that's why I was confused. Why?
I got a couple DMs from people who are like, "Hey, I just bought a couple big moments, and I just saved 5K on that."
Wait, hold on. I just heard from an actual house. Harry Greenhouse with questionable punctuation, though, said that's not what happened. So, Harry, talk to me about the second period after. I think if you went that's and then period, not period, what period happened, I would have been I'm with you. Even that's not what happened, and then ... I'm with you. The 2 dots fucks with me, though, Harry. It makes me think the conspiracy is true. I would like to hear from you, Mr. House.
I think that VIPs were definitely obviously took advantage of the offer that was given to them. And it had a little bit of a ripple effect because everybody can't just whip up 10K, today, but there was a little bit of a, throughout the day, there were some big buys and stuff. And, if you are,
shout out Harry.
Baby Harry.
We appreciate the effort, buddy.
Not going to address his statement of that's not what happened. Just, I'm eating ice cream, guys.
What conspiracies, Harry? Fill us in.
Harry, deep throat that cone
ones,
and
man.
put your answers into the chat, baby. Shut up.
I don't know. I think it's interesting timing. I'll put it that way. It's interesting timing. And
that man,
I don't know, but I don't know if personally, when I saw all the big buys, when I saw
this is a good point.
That's what I was saying when I said it's the best part of the release.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if this is maybe 2 separate teams working, maybe not enough communicating, working, and then they're like, I'm putting this out. Oh, I'm happy to be putting this out tomorrow. Cool.
Yeah, it could be true. It could be true. But because we were tracking, the job, we were tracking the Luka, tracking the LeBron, stuff like that. That was going off today, and in my mind, I was just like, that's only because of the VIP stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with TSS, right? Because like especially that LeBron, that was like right at that $5,000 level. That was just like kind of like a gimme, right? And so that's kind of where I was like correlating that to. I wasn't correlating any of that movement to TSS, but for people, like there was a lot of people who didn't even know about the VIP. I didn't even know about it.
I didn't know about it.
Posted in Discord, right? And so it wasn't like
I broke
widely
that
announced
news,
or anything. And so yeah, that was you. Thanks, Mike. But so I think there may be some some causation is not correlation or whatever the hell that term is of people thinking like, oh, TSS causing some big buys.
Yeah, that makes
it almost
a lot of
worked.
sense.
I almost bought, like I did start getting like, whoa, I gotta go buy something.
I felt the same way. I was kicking myself for not buying the Luka TSD because I was like, you know what? I told myself I wasn't going to spend, and then for me to turn around right before the announcement and drop 1,300 on a moment probably is not a good trading decision. And then I was like, gosh, like I guess people just love this TSS thing because people are like multiple buys of these huge moments are just firing off. But yeah, that's disappointing.
I like this conspiracy theory. I don't necessarily think it's true, but I like it that it exists. We need more of this stuff.
Right,
well, I'm all about the conspiracy theories.
Is it better that it exists or doesn't exist? It's
better that it exists for sure. That's my whole.
That's not what I want to say.
Channel.
Is it better that it's true or is it better that it's not? Is what I meant to say.
No, it's better if it's not true. I don't want them. They manipulate it enough. I don't need them doing that too.
Harry, these buys, just FYI, the buys were happening as soon as the announcement happened. Like TSS, but TSS got announced, and that day, like a couple hours later, people were buying the LeBrons. So,
are you gonna narrate some moments over there, Mike?
Doris
in the house.
I fucking love Draymond.
If that's your nervous tick during a Celtics game, that's even better that a ball is involved.
No, you know what? I forget what I used it for recently in some prop related thing, and it's been sitting under my desk for a while, and I accidentally just kicked it out. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's bring the ball on.
Dude, they're up 30. You got nothing to stress about.
Yeah, this game is boring.
Marcus Smart, freaking
just putting on a show.
Scoring,
Marcus Smart.
I heard he had a hurt foot and he was gonna maybe not play a lot.
Dude, listen, this is I said this right when the announcement came out. The Celtics punted game 1. They were like, we just got our asses kicked by the Bucks for 7 games.
Yeah.
Horford is 48. He played 1 million minutes. Marcus Smart was a little dinged up. They were just like, let's just chill. Miami sucks.
Let Robert Williams kind of get back in rhythm.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was a stat like I always get these freaking stats after the games are over, but there was a stat that said like the teams coming off of a game 7 and then playing a team with a bunch of rest or whatever were like 45 or 35% against the spread or something like that. Like the team with rest was like
it's like the under in game 7.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
smash it.
It's just like, why can't we get these tweet stats earlier into my feed? Like that's the algorithm I need Elon to kind of figure out. Okay, first of all, Consigliere. This is
that hit a nerve. That hit a nerve.
No. That is a little bit of a nerve because that's a tell that he's like FanDuel, and FanDuel is as far inferior product to DraftKings.
There we go. Get a joke. George.
It's impossible to beat FanDuel's showdown.
Apparently he's got to get some work done.
Yeah, get to work. Actually, George Bush does have. He's gonna do some PR work after the last 48 hours.
Apparently, yeah.
That was crazy.
He's like, all right, Jeb, what are we buying, baby?
Did you ask him about his bonus? Is it early adopters bonus?
No, you want conspiracy. I think this was a coordinated effort to make it be known that Jeb doesn't multi-account.
yeah. I sent him a text.
That's just a hired actor off some app.
Yeah.
He showed up 30 minutes late though.
Yeah, it's actually my dad. Oh man.
Oh gosh. I'm dying.
Man, I love that the Celtics are gonna right back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, no, I mean they looked like they
He
were
only paid him for 2 minutes.
Yeah. You know, it was on
expensive.
Fiverr. I got him on Fiverr, so only had him for 5 minutes. Yeah, no, I mean, this is what we went back to though, that the Celtics are just so like whoever won that series was gonna win the finals. Like, yeah, and I like when Jimmy Butler put up that
Luka
crazy game.
MVP.
I pray. I want the Mavs to win. I want the Warriors to lose so bad. But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
I'm not going to overreact until after game 2 on that series. Same thing. I think.
Yeah.
They just didn't hit any shots.
Shot quality. Mavs should have won the game.
Yeah. No, they were just missing open shots.
104,
And
103.
once again, they went to game 7. Warriors didn't.
Yeah, their worst 3-point shooting of the postseason.
Yeah.
Man, no more LeBron buys. I was just scrolling live token to see if there were any more.
Not enough VIPs. Not enough VIPs.
And Harry allegedly, that's my dad.
George. All right, fellas, do we wrap here?
Yeah, I think so. I think we
Look at
covered
this.
a lot.
I was gonna give you guys 35 minutes, but the Celtics were instead decided to win by 35. So we did full hour 17.
Yeah, not bad. And
Yeah, baby.
people stuck around. I actually thought there wouldn't be a lot of people watching because the game was on, but maybe because the game sucked, it helped us too.
That did help. That helped.
So, yeah.
Mike,
everybody, if you haven't,
there's a guy that's live for a solo bink right now on the showdown.
No, I think I'm done. I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna win
too,
money, but not like
the guy. There's a solo guy that's in the second score right now, which is pretty impressive.
Oh, you're not.
That's
you're
what
not
happens
wrong.
when you stack S2. You
Yeah,
move
that's
back home.
You move back home with your parents.
Oh, yeah.
But guys, every
That's such a
Thursday,
good call.
9:30 Eastern, we rotate channels. So next week we'll be over at Mr. Top Shot Talk. His channel will do that. Check out where can they go follow Momentum Labs?
We
think you guys
just
have a
created
Twitter,
the Twitter today. Momentum_labs
Exciting.
_ We had to do the second underscore. You know, they're still working through things with Momentum_labs lawyers. But yeah, second underscore, and yeah, check us out. We'll be launching next month.
Hell yeah.
And the launch is they just retweet John's tweets.
That's right. Exactly.
You guys
for all.
if you don't, oh great, this is great. Easier to spec by
True.
from the Bush compound. If you don't already subscribe to ActuallyJebBush, go ahead and do that. Like the stream for the algo boost. You can find me over at Team Hold. Otherwise, we'll see you guys Thursday night, right?
Yep.
We out. Oh, you need me to play the